Once upon a time, a man was contemplating the ways in which nature operates, and he discovered, because of his concentration and application, how fire could be made. This man was called Gedi. He decided to travel from one community to another, showing people his discovery. Gedi passed the secret to many groups of people. Some took advantage of the knowledge, others drove him away, thinking that he must be dangerous. Before they had had time to understand how valuable this discovery could be to them, finally, a tribe before which he demonstrated became so panic-stricken that they set him ablaze and killed him, being convinced that he was a demon. Centuries passed. The first tribe, which had learned about fire, reserved the secret for their priest, who remained in affluence and power while the people froze. The second tribe forget about the art and worshipped instead the instruments. The third worshipped the likeness of Gedi himself because it was he who had taught them. The fourth retained the stories of the making of fire in their legends, and some believed them, some did not. The fifth community really did use fire, and this enabled them to be warm, to cook their food, and to manufacture all kinds of articles. After many years, a wise man and a small band of his disciples were traveling through the lands of these tribes. The disciples were amazed at the variety of rituals which they encountered, and one and all said to their teacher, "But all these are procedures, in fact, related to making of fire, nothing else. We should reform these people." The teacher said, verily then, we should restart our journey. By the end of it, those who survive will know the real problem and how to approach them. When they reached the first tribe, the band was hospitably received. The priest invited the travelers to attend their religious ceremony, the making of fire. When it was over and the tribe was in a state of excitement at the event which they had witnessed, the master said, "Does any wish to speak?" The first disciple said, "In the course of truth, I feel myself constrained to say something to these people. If you will do so at your own risk, you may do so," said the master. Now the disciple stepped forward in the presence of the tribal chief and his priest and said, "I can perform miracles which you take to be a special manifestation of deities. If I do so, will you accept that you have been in error for so many years?" But the priest cried, "Seize him!" And the man was taken away, never to be seen again. The travelers went to the next territory, where the second tribes were worshipping the instrument of fire making. Again, a disciple volunteered to try to bring reason to the community. With the permission of the master, he said, "I beg permission to speak to you as reasonable people. You are worshipping the means by which something may be done, not even the thing itself. Thus you are suspending the advent of its usefulness. I know the reality that lies at the basis of this ceremony." This tribe was composed of more reasonable people, but they said to the disciple, "You are welcome as a traveler and stranger in our midst, but as a stranger foreign to our history and custom, you cannot understand what we are doing. You make a mistake perhaps. Even you are trying to take away or alter our religion. We therefore decline to listen to you." The travelers move on. When they arrive at the land of the third tribe, they found before every dwelling an idol representing Gedi, the original fire maker. The third disciple addressed the chief of the tribe. "This idol represents a man who represents a capacity which can be used." "This may be so," answered the Gedi worshipper, "but penetration of this secret is only for the few. It is only for the few who really understand, not for those who refuse to face certain facts," said the third disciple. "This is rank heresy, and from a man who does not even speak our language correctly, and is not a priest ordained in our faith," muted the priest, and he could make no headway. The band continued their journey and arrived in the land of the fourth tribe. Now a fourth disciple stepped forward in the assembly of the people. The story of making fire is true, and I know how it may be done, he said. Confusion broke out within the tribe, which split into various factions. Some said, this may be true, and if it is, we want to find out how to make fire. When these people were examined by the master and his followers, however, it was found that most of them were anxious to use fire making for personal advantage and did not realize that it was something for human progress. So deep had the distorted legend penetrate into the mind of most people that those who thought they may had in fact represent the truth were often unbalanced ones, who could not have made fire even if they had been shown how. There was another faction who said, of course the legends are not true. This man is just trying to fool us to make a place for himself here. And further faction said, we prefer the legends as they are, for they are the very motor of our cohesion. If we abandon them and we find out that this new interpretation is useless, what will become of our community then? And there were other points of views as well. So the party traveled on until they reached the land of the fifth community, where fire making was a commonplace and where other preoccupations faced them. The master said to his disciples, you have to learn how to teach, for man does not want to be taught. First of all, you will have to teach people how to learn, and before that, you have to teach them that there is still something to be learned. They imagine that they are ready to learn, but they want to learn what they imagine to learn, not what they have to learn. When you have learned all this, then you can devise the way to teach. Knowledge without special capacity to teach is not the same as knowledge and capacity.